Good morning. Welcome to the weekly Wednesday Wisdom. That's the first time I think I've said that, and I just about muddled it all up. Weekly Wednesday Wisdom, every Wednesday, 9 o'clock. My name is Marty Forrest. My website is Hello Extraordinary Life. Check that page out. Check the whole website out. But on the landing page is a free ebook, 3 Steps to Reprogramming Your Negative Self-Talk. It's my gift to you. I know people have said they print it and read it a lot because it has a lot of just basic tips and tools and applicable things that you can do immediately that help to shortcut the brain and stop the talk that we do to ourselves. Also go to the Work With Me page, and you can hit the contact me, and we set up a time to talk, have a casual conversation to see where you're at really, in case now is the right time for you for coaching. Also on the Work With Me page is a 6-week course description. I have not picked dates yet for the next one. It's already the end of February. I said March, but I may push it out now to give me more time to get it filled up. So there is a description of what that is, and it's 6 weeks, an hour a week. And it deals with taking the journey inside and ultimately beginning a relationship with the inner child. That's where it begins. Healing that relationship with that little one that lives inside of us so that we can begin to repair the damage and heal those wounds so that we can become, based on my topic, more authentic and discerning. Good morning. I heard someone else join the call. That is the topic for today, authenticity. How did I label it? Being authentic and discerning, I think is what I said. Yes. I thought I would look up what the word actually means. Authentic, there's a few definitions of it. Is worthy of acceptance or belief. It was genuine was the one that really struck me. True to one's own spirit, personality, or character. Being true to yourself. Authenticity, living that everywhere. And discernment is the ability to obtain sharp perceptions or to judge well. Trusting our intuition is how I think of that. Trusting our intuition to know when and whom and where to share our deepest feelings. I was going to say secrets, but they're not really secrets. It's just that place that's really authentic for us and true for us. Many of us walk around with a lot of wounding and a lot of injury or programming from our childhood that does not allow us, because we don't know how, to be authentic. And I was cleaning, I wrote about the orchids, and I was looking at these really amazing orchids, and my husband, they're blooming, and this is the first time I've had them from when I got them blooming to bloom again. Followed a few instructions, and they're just beautiful. And my husband said, well, I wouldn't even mess with that one because look at how well it's doing. He said, yes, that's true, but I can't see the roots. I don't know what's going on at the roots of the plant. And this is true for us. This was the metaphor that I used. This is true for us. We know how to look good. We know how to show up. I know how to present well. I think we all know how to do that really well. And we smile and we say we're fine and life is great. And we're just lying through our teeth. Because maybe it's really not great for us right at that moment. But culturally, we're taught to just smile and tell everybody we're okay because maybe we feel like most people just don't really care. So they're just asking to be polite. And then there are those that ask because they do really care. And so being discerning about who we share what with, and being authentic. So I have a couple of examples to share with you. When I was married, it was my second husband, and I spent the day with a couple of friends. They had come from Oregon, so it was the couple and me and my other girlfriend. We spent hours together, hanging out and laughing and talking and having a good time. And my husband showed up for the evening, and I think we were all going to dinner or something. And later, after we were done and moving on in our life, every one of them said I became someone else when he showed up. Ouch. That was really a wake-up call. I was working hard and striving to be transparent and authentic everywhere, and when he showed up, I became someone else, which means I shut down and I stopped being so open and laughing and friendly because I just wasn't that way with him. And now fast forward, that was in, I don't even know what year was, but fast forward to when my dad died in 2016. And I'm still transforming into this being authentic person and being transparent in my world. And it felt really critical in my mind and in myself, my spirit, to be authentic. People would say, "How are you?" And I'm like, I don't effing know. I don't know how I am. My dad just died. And when my friends would ask me, I could say that. When the woman in the grocery store asked me that, I looked at her and I said, I really don't know. My dad died recently. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." End of the conversation, right? But I needed to be real and authentic to me. And I knew I could say that. I was discerning enough, trusting myself enough that I could say that to her. But that was as far as it was going to go. It wasn't going to be this big drawn-out conversation where I'm in a grocery store line. So being authentic is about being true to myself. And if I don't know what that looks like or feels like, how can I be true and authentic to anyone else? Sometimes that means sitting in what I'm feeling. And if I don't know what that is, maybe I talk to someone that I trust so I can get really clear about what I'm feeling. Because if we're not used to feeling what's true for us out of our programming is out of habit, right? We act out of habit because it's programming, it's what we know, it's what we're familiar with, and it's what we're comfortable with, whether we like it or not. We're comfortable because it's familiar. That's our programming. That's what we've been taught. That's our reaction to life. When we're learning to be authentic, it's to put the programming aside and really sit with, from almost a witness or objective place of, what am I really feeling outside of that situation? What's showing up inside of me? And then listening. And it takes some practice. And if I don't know, you don't know what that is, then it's important to go look, go find something that gives some description or definition. Because we're used to the programming. We're used to operating from that place. Now the feelings are starting to show up, and we know we want to do something else. But we don't always know exactly what we're feeling. We just know we're feeling something. And our body won't lie to us. We have to work through all that programming, or at least be able to set it aside. So we can tap into, what am I feeling? So when my dad died, my programming is anger. And I was pissed. I was mad at him. I was mad that he was gone. I was mad that he died and left me with my mom. There's all kinds of, that's my programming and that's what's familiar. So rather than sit in my grief and feel the sadness, which a lot of people call depression, grief is not depression. Little side note there. And to just feel it. But it was uncomfortable. It was unfamiliar. I didn't know what to do with it. And anger was very familiar and very comfortable. I know what to do with that. It drives me. It protects me in some way. That's not true, but I think that, because I've been programmed with that. So I think that anger will protect me. But it doesn't. What happens then is all that grief, any feeling that it is, not just grief, starts coming out sideways. I start acting out in different ways and being a jerk to some people. And then when I finally stopped, I'm really angry. And it's leaking out everywhere because I know that place. It's very, very familiar. And it's, even though I don't like it, it's very comfortable. And when I finally stop, I could just sit in the grief and shed my tears and be sad. That's authentic. Now I can say, I don't know how I'm doing, or I'm just hanging in there, doing the best I can. That's real and authentic. It takes us being willing to sit with those feelings and to listen to our body. And if we don't know what it is, I would go ask people, like, I don't really know. And they'd start asking me some questions. And I would sit with the questions. Or they'd start saying, well, how I see it is, and they'd share with me what they see or what they've experienced. Then it could help me to identify. If I say, go find someone if you don't know, help me to identify what I was actually feeling. Because we've not felt that way before, or not sat in a feeling, even the feelings of love and joy. So if we're used to being, like me, I'm used to being angry. If we're used to being depressed, when we start having those feelings of love and joy, this can be just as uncomfortable. They're super authentic. And I think many of us have, fleeting moments of those. But it can be a little uncomfortable. And even if it's a little uncomfortable, we might revert back to what we're programmed with. It takes that willingness to sit with it and then to admit it and be honest with ourselves about what we're really feeling. Then the discerning part. This comes with being authentic, learning to trust ourselves and trust our feelings. Most of us, I'm not sure that's true. Many of us have been taught that words mean something, but if the words and the actions don't match, then they don't mean anything. But we're taught that. Listen to the words, listen to the words. Well, by listening to the words all the time or being taught to be silent, children are to be seen and not heard, we don't even know how to listen to ourselves and our bodies and our feelings and to trust that intuitive place. This has become more clear just even recently for me. Children are to be seen and not heard. So we didn't speak a lot, but we were always told what to feel, how to feel, when to feel. So I don't really know how to listen to myself. If I'm always told what to feel, when to feel, how to feel, I also don't know how to trust myself to be discerning in making good choices for who to go to and talk to. That's not true 100% of the time, but that was a lot. So learning to listen to ourselves, to trust what we know when we're used to being told, it's challenging. And I can't say that's true for everybody or even everybody on this call. That was true for me, and I know that many of us have been taught that. It's in our culture. Oh, just listen to what I'm saying, not what I'm doing. So we're not taught to listen to our own higher self or our own intuition, to be discerning when it comes to choosing people to go and speak to about what am I actually feeling here? Can you help me? Can you share with me what you've been through so I can understand myself better? And sometimes we just kind of tiptoe in and we might ask a question and go, oh, they're not really safe. And then we just back away. Sometimes we just, there's some people that like to just tip their toes in the water. So sometimes we do that. We kind of fish and see if they're safe people for us to bring that to. Some people go to therapy to get that. But with the learning to listen to ourselves and trust what we are feeling develops the ability to be more discerning with when we're choosing other people to share with and to go to with what's up for us. authenticity can come in many forms, and it just means where it became clearer for me was when people would ask me how I was doing after my dad died, and I would say, I'm hanging in there today. They may not have known what was going on for me other than that. That was an honest answer for me, instead of smiling and saying I'm fine or I'm great when I wasn't. And then the other side of that is there's times I don't feel so great, or I didn't sleep well last night, I'm kind of tired this morning, and I could talk about that, or I could say, I'm doing all right today. I'm good. Because that's just a moment, and I know it's going to be okay. That's just as authentic. Trusting that maybe this second I'm tired and I don't feel so good, which is not true, by the way, but it's all going to be okay. So it's equally as authentic. It's what's true for you. And it doesn't mean we have to divulge it to everybody. And that's where that discernment comes in. I think I'm done. My brain went blank there. So I'll stop right there. Anybody have anything they got out of that? Are you all still there?
I'm still here.
I had to click out of a mute. I didn't want to sneeze or cough while you were making your presentation.
Thank you.
The thing that I got out of it, I think, was for me. I mean, I just have to keep looking for authentic self, because I don't know. It just seems like it's a journey that we probably never ever accomplish, but I enjoy it.
I think it's a striving, and there's never an arrival.
Yeah, and that's okay too.
It is. It's perfect.
I think we all go through where we're selectively authentic with different people, based on our own perception of whether they're safe to be honest with or not. So I don't think it's all bad in that regard. I think it's a way of perhaps protecting yourself, preserving yourself. But we all do meet people that we can be truly authentic with because we feel really comfortable with them.
Absolutely.
And I agree, it's a journey. It's not something that we can just open ourselves authentically to every person we run into, because we could cause ourselves harm if we do that. So I try not to beat myself up when I'm not totally authentic with somebody that I've met or know casually, but I'm okay with that.
Yes, and maybe there's a redefining of authentic, because you're being authentic with you and knowing that maybe they're not safe.
Right.
And that's the authentic and discerning part. Right? It's not about telling them everything. It's about being true to you.
Oh, sure.
And then whatever answer we give them is true statement, right? Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being here this morning. I appreciate you.